Have you ever had your child take off running and no matter how loud you called their name, they did not stop? One day I'm at the aquarium. I had my little baby in my arm and my beautiful son who's on the autism spectrum. He took off running so fast that when it was all said and done, I got in my car in tears. I didn't understand what happened. So I called his ABA therapist and she helped me see it clearly. My son wasn't being disobedient. He was so hyper-focused on an exhibit and I pulled him away too fast because we were on a time schedule and I was trying to make the dolphin show. The moment I stopped, he ran back to what had his attention. And that's when I learned eloping isn't random. It is communication. And I wish I had started here in the word, which says, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask God and he will give it to him. Because as much as I needed more control over the situation, I needed wisdom. So I slowed down and got into my son's world. And I started watching patterns. I wanted to know, what is he trying to get away from? Is there something he's trying to get to? Or is he running because he just wants me to chase him and this feels good to him? And once I understood what was driving the eloping, it changed everything. I couldn't just react. I couldn't just scream, stop. I needed a strategy. I learned to warn him before transition and give him time to adjust and stay consistent when he doesn't respond. I also had to teach him safety, even when he didn't have the words yet. So if he couldn't communicate it back to me, I still had to make sure he understood what it meant to be safe. And I didn't leave safety just to him. I secured him. Yep, I got him something to keep him secure without breaking his confidence. And that included using the harness to keep him safe. No shame, just protection. And over time, we got through it. And I honestly believe me crying in the car that day and really just needing help welcomed God in. And then I began to get wisdom. I'm grateful for the ABA therapist who helped me identify what was going on. Even though it was hard, I still take authority by understanding what's driving him, learning to guide him, and then building in routines that we could both follow. And so as a fellow parent, I want to tell you, or a fellow loved one, you don't have to suffer your way through this. You can't be anchored. Ask God for wisdom and get into your child's world and build from there. Now, let me tell you what my strategy was to stop him from eloping. I took him back to the aquarium, back to the place where I was scared almost out of my mind. And this time I took reinforcement. So with me was his ABA therapist. And not only did she come, we had him on a harness, right? And so as we're going through, she had him and I had my baby son so that I'm not trying to manage both of them at the same time. Now, what I observed her doing until I learned how to do it is she talked to him the whole time. So when we got to the famous exhibit that he loved, she stopped and she paused and she said, we're getting ready to go to this exhibit. You're going to have 5 minutes to look at the fish. And when the 5 minutes is over, we're leaving. And then she took him and allowed him to go into the exhibit. He went into the exhibit. He came out. She said, you got 3 more minutes. And so he went in and continued to play. And then when the time was up, she was like, we got to go. And he threw a tantrum right in the middle of that exhibit. And she said, I'm going to wait for you to calm down. She said, I'm going to wait for you to calm down. And then when he was calm, she said, with calm body, we're going to have to walk. And we walked. And so he was still crying and still tantruming, throwing a tantrum. And so the next consequence was, if you don't get calm body, we're going to have to leave the aquarium. And he thought, and he wasn't ready to leave. And she just kept talking to him. So we went to the next exhibit and he was still upset and he was still, and so she was like, you have to have a calm body. Don't blow your chance to enjoy yourself at the aquarium. And I learned something in that moment. My child has the ability to reason. Even if his response seems unreasonable, he has the ability to reason. So just as she was reasoning with him, I'm going to stand and do the same thing. No, she wasn't looking at him. He wasn't looking at her eyeball. It appeared as if he wasn't listening, but he was. So guess what? The next time I took him, I just did the same thing. We talked. You get a warning. You got 5 minutes. All right, you got 3 minutes. Son, we're getting ready to leave in a minute. Look at the clock. You see a minute? We will go from there. He will throw a tantrum. Do you want to leave? If you don't want to leave, then we got to go. And sometimes I think as parents, we get stuck because it may feel embarrassing. Oh, I don't want anybody looking at me. But honestly, you're training your child. You're training them. And so we did that enough times to he would now request more time. You got 5 minutes. Can I have 10 minutes or just some random number that doesn't make any sense? What he's saying is, I understand what the limit you're giving me, and now he's trying to negotiate. And over time, those tantrums went down, right? I no longer have to put him on a harness. And I'm going to be honest, sometimes we can go into a store or we can go somewhere and he hears the limit, he understands, and he's cool. And sometimes, even today, we still got to fight through it. But I keep my eyes observing him. I'm constantly talking, reminding him, here's the next step. Here's the next thing we're going to do. And if he tantrum, I keep my line. I hold my authority. Right. You ready to go home? You ready to go to bed? All right. You want to try again? And so in doing that, he's learned to talk back. And when he does comply, I'm like, good job, man. I am so proud of you. And over time, really, I have seen the elopement go down. So to a parent that is probably petrified of taking your child to a place because of the elopement, because of safety, I'm going to say, one, pray about it. Ask God to give you wisdom concerning what you're actually looking at. The second thing I'm going to ask you to do as a parent is to sit and observe your child. Really begin to think what is causing them to elope, because it could be multiple things. Right now, I'm just talking about the instances when he eloped to get to something he really wants. But sometimes he elopes because he don't want to do work, and sometimes he elopes because he thinks it's funny for people to chase him. So you got to study and figure out what is driving this behavior. And once you find out what's driving this behavior, then that's another thing that you take back to God and say, and you take to your support system, to your ABA therapist, to your teachers. And if you don't have them, you come back here and we can talk through them. And once you figure out this is what's driving, and now let's put some strategies in place to try to help our children be able to regulate and function in a way that keeps them safe, right? And that allows them to enjoy it. Because the other thing that I would say as a parent is I would constantly tell my son, you're wasting your valuable time you could spend enjoying this moment because you're crying or because you're having a tantrum. So calm down. It's going to be okay. And the more and more we talk to and communicate, one, our children feel the partnership and they begin to trust us even more. So I hope this helped you, parent. If you have a child that elopes, know that there is still hope. If you need help, if you need strategies, if you have a strategy as a parent, put it in the comments below. We are building a community on which we will help each other to thrive and take authority. Till next time.